Hi crafty friends, welcome back to the attic. Pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and let's spend a little bit of crafty time together. Today we're going to be working on day 11 of Mix, Layer, and Make, our August Crafty Recipe Challenge collaboration that I'm co-hosting with Tammy at Paper Nest Crafts and Christina at ScrapcraftnStitchery. So be sure to go over and check out their channels. There'll also be a link down in the description box. If you've missed any of the videos and need to catch up, there's a playlist down in the description box and also a link to this clickable calendar where you can find all of our videos for each day. So today is my day 11 and we'll be creating with the prompts, creating another layered recipe card, and the whole idea of this challenge and event is to treat our paper crafting like a little recipe where we start with the base, we add some layers, and then sprinkle in all those little details to make those projects our very own. This challenge is meant to be fun and flexible, so you can use the event freebies. You can use your own stash, or you can mix and match and do a little bit of both. Don't forget there's a giveaway at the end of the event for each completed recipe card, one per prompt. That counts as one entry. It's being held in my Facebook group. I'll have that link down in the description box, and you post your images for those projects in my album that's titled Mix, Layer, and Make on the specific day and in the comments section. Quick housekeeping before we get started. Some of the links in my description box might be affiliate links. If you choose to shop through those links, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and that just helps support my channel. But now let's get on to today's crafty recipe and see what we can mix, layer, and make. These prompts are found in Tammy's Ko-fi or Coffee, whichever way you want to say that, shop. That link is down in the description box. And if you are new here, I am creating memoirs from Eleanor Mabel Honeycutt as my Mix, Layer, and Make journal. And I created these little memoir pictures to go with the prompts, and then I'll be creating my prompts. So today we're working as our theme is Old Attic. Our project is a journal card, so that'll be really easy. We just stick to our cards. For our ingredients, we use wallpaper or scrapbook paper, and then something with texture or embossing. And as a bonus challenge, we can add a key. So let's see what I want to do today. I've created a little template, and I said in my last video I'm going to be making a volume 1 and volume 2 for this. This is weeks 1 and 2, and I don't think I can get any more cards in those rings. It's already pretty chunky. So with this week, I'm starting my volume 2, and I made a little template out of my flashcards where I'll punch the holes, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this has just been, I have to repunch them when I get all my decorations on here, but this just helps me kind of know when I'm laying out my decoration where those holes are going to go. So let's just get those punched out. And so set that aside, and I'm creating all my cards on these flashcards that I purchased at the Dollar Tree. So let's see what I want to do first. I think I'm going to be using my Scorched Timber Distress Oxide because that just gives me that attic feel with that kind of grungy things you might find in the attic. And that's kind of what my card here is. So I want to start with my scrapbook paper, I think, because I think that's what I'm going to use to back my cards. Let's start with inking up my pages, not my pages, inking up my inking up my flashcards with my scorched timber. And I think I need to grab my blending brush. Nothing like being prepared. Go ahead, and I just re-inked my scorched timber and I didn't blend it out probably as well as I should have. So this is going to be really saturated, but that's okay. I think that'll give us the idea of a really old attic. And if you are new to paper crafting, what I was talking about is my scorched timber ink pad. When you get these ink pads, sometimes after you've used them a while or after you've had them a while, they can kind of dry out. So you can get these refill bottles. Instead of buying a new ink pad, you can get the refill bottles and just add to the felt. And if you can kind of see that, I didn't blend that out very well or wait for it to soak in long enough. You can take like a old gift card or something and go over it a couple of times and work that ink into the fibers of the pad, and I didn't do that. And I thought I had waited long enough for it to soak in, but obviously I did not. That's okay. We're moving on. I'm just going to kind of work for the edges and not get so much ink maybe. Let's see. I want to go ahead and ink all this up. So I'm probably going to speed this up really quick and just get these edges of these cards inked up. Okay, got the cards inked up, and I think I want to go ahead and just use the same scorched timber and ink up the edges of the prompt card and my little old attic card. Well, I've got that out. And let's get these glued on to here. And did everybody catch the live last night? I am pre-filming this, so I don't know if anything great happened in this live. But hopefully we got a lot of crafting done. And if you didn't catch the live and you want to go back and watch the replays, you can always do that. And for this mix, layer, and make challenge, our lives are being held on Christina's YouTube channel at ScrapcraftnStitchery. I am planning to try to do some lives, hopefully maybe starting in September. Might have to wait to October. I can't quite decide. I'm finishing up all the details for our Mist Ember event. If you are not familiar with Mist Ember, that is what I have named my second event for the year. I'm planning on moving forward having 2 big events each year. We did Junetober this year, and in 2027 I am moving that event to May, and it's going to be renamed because Junetober obviously doesn't work in May, but I'm renaming that event to Mayhem. And my second event for the year is Mist Ember, which is Mystery and September combined Mist Ember. Those events in September for Mist Ember will be more mystery based, magic, and fantasy based The Mayhem event in May will be more spooky, Halloween leaning. So depending on your likes and things, you may want to try to catch both of those events each year. You may only like one of them. It's okay. I do plan on, unless something changes, those events will be story-based, and I will have a journal kit that will go with the story where you can create a journal for that story. If anything ever changes in the future about that, I'll let you know. But there's definitely one coming for Miss Ember, so be on the lookout for that video information. It should be out soon. Alright, let's go back to Mix, Layer, and Make and see what we've got here. We're creating a journal card, so we don't have to do anything extra. This is our journal card. And let's move on to scrapbook paper. And I found some very old scrapbook paper in my stash. It's pretty thin. I have absolutely no idea where this came from. It's been in my stash a very, very long time. But I loved the look of it, where it looked very distressed, and it reminded me of what you would find in an old attic. We've got memories and old letters and pressed florals, so that's why I grabbed this piece. And let's start with, I think I'm going to do this with, no, let's not do, let's do regular white glue. And I am trying to be better about the amount of glue I use so I don't end up with glue everywhere. Also, I guess if I don't use so much glue, that's more affordable, right? We all want things to be more affordable in our crafts, because that means we get to buy more crafts. Or craft supplies. So let's get our burnisher. Burnish that down. And flip that over and grab our scissors. And I'm going to try to just cut this pretty close. Probably didn't really need to ink this one up. I wasn't thinking. I may not do it this way for both sides, but that's okay. Never know. Never hurts to ink. It relieves stress. At least it does for me. So let's see. Do I want to do the same thing? I think I do. I think I want to lean more right in here and get that memories. Hopefully I can get that. I could cut this piece of scrapbook paper out first to make sure I got exactly what I wanted with that image. But what's the fun in that? Let's just try to get it. That looks good. Get that burnished down. Cut out. What is everybody working on right now? I know there are some great collaborations going on. There are a few that I have tried to follow on YouTube. There's a summer wing one, which I love. I haven't been able to play with any of them because of working on the Mix, Layer, and Make collaboration and trying to get the Miss Ember story and everything done. But I love watching videos sometimes of these collaborations just to get ideas, even if I don't have time to follow along with the collaboration. And you can always come back to those collaboration ideas, even if you don't have time to do them when it's actually happening. I need to put a little bit more glue there. I didn't quite get enough. because most creators will leave their YouTube videos up pretty much forever unless something happens. So you can always come back to the events if you don't have time to play along when they first go up. And even if you don't want to necessarily play along, like I said, you can grab inspiration from those. So is anybody else playing with different collaborations or events? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you're working on. I always like to see what everybody's working on. Alright, I think this is probably going to be my front. I love that memories, and then I'm going to decorate this section a little bit more. See, this is why I use a lot of glue, people, because every time I try to be sparing with glue, I always come back and end up adding more because something didn't stick down. So I just end up making a mess at the beginning and get it over with. Yeah, I know, I'm being crazy today. Alright, let's see. The next is something with texture or embossing. And I think my texture is going to be some lace and some of this scarf material that I've been using lately. And I think I want to wrap this around the edge of my card. And I can actually punch my holes right through this lace so that doesn't bother me a whole lot. But I like that. I think I'm going to do that. That's going to be my texture. And then I may add some of that later. Let's grab my Fabri-Tac. Also grab some other items I want to use. I did not fill this bottle up. Or lay it on its side. Let's see if it will cooperate. When I've got lace like this, I don't often like to put my glue on this really thin sections because you can see through those a lot. So I like to pick out the floral areas that have a little bit more thread decor to them to add my glue. Add that on this. I think that will be enough. Set that over there. Let's see if I can get this the way I want it without getting glue all over me. Easier said than done. There we go. I like that. Now let's just fold this over. And I checked again, I could not find another one of these little silicone makeup brushes. It's not really a brush, but silicone makeup applicator, I guess is the right word. At the Dollar Tree. I'm going to check the Dollar Tree that's further away from my house and see if I can find them there. If not, you know where I'm headed. Probably headed to Amazon. Let's see if I can find one there, because I definitely want another one of those. Alright, throw that in my scrap pile. I like little scraps of lace. I like how that looks. And again, I got some extra glue. Let's see. Alright, we've got our texture and embossing, so now let's just do a little bit of decorating to make it look like an old attic. So I grabbed some things that I thought you might find in an old attic. I've got a postcard, an old clock, an old fan, old license plate, a little angel statue, catalog, seed packet, got a old fan, old picture frame, and then I grabbed an old camera and some stickers that are also old picture frames and stuff. So let's just do a little bit of layering. I think I want to add this little tea bag coffee filter I've got here as a texture layer. And when we're doing these mix layer and make cards for the prompts, you don't have to stop with just one piece of texture. You can add multiple pieces if that's part of the prompt. Let's see. Like, oh, I kind of like that, but that might cover up. Let's see, I want to get rid of that. I don't want to cover up the memories. That's kind of my sentiment there. That I think I'm going to use on the other side because that does cover up the memories, I think. Let's see. That's not bad. And maybe, what else do I want there? Maybe the license plate. Do I like that? Or do I like the camera? Decisions. Do I just like the camera? And maybe the clock. Just audition some pieces here. See what I like and what I don't. Good. I like that. I think I want to cut out, I don't like that white around the sticker. I'm not loving that. So I think I'm going to cut that off. I am not one that loves those white borders on stickers. Okay, I like that. Much better. Much better. Alright, let's see. Don't think I want that. No, I don't think I like either of that. So I think I'm going to go with that. Maybe postcard. No, that covers up too much. Maybe something with these stickers here. I kind of like, I think the mushroom, but let's go ahead and get this one on. And then we can see what else we like. Sometimes these stickers, backings do not want to come off well. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just get that on and just commit. When I'm doing collage work, sometimes if you overthink things, you can sit there for hours and not commit to a final design. And I'm sitting here wondering now, is that a separate? Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if that was a separate sticker. Let's see. Okay, I think I like that there. And then I'm going to add a butterfly. I want to do this pink butterfly. These are stickers that came out of a planner book from Hobby Lobby. If anybody's interested in that. I do not remember the name. It was a Paper Studio one. And I think I'm going to put the seashell down there. Yeah. There we go. I like that. And do we want anything else? Do we want our little picture frame around the butterfly? Oh, I kind of like that. That was not my intentions, but I like it. Let's go ahead and get that glued on. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to flip this over and see what we want to do on the back. I kind of like, let's see. I love the statue, so I really want to use that. So let's see what else I want to do with that. Do I want to add the postcard back there? Kind of like that. Maybe just a little bit of the scarf for some more texture. Where it looks kind of like torn fabric. Okay, I'm really liking that. And I think under this, I'm going to add this washi tape. This again came from Hobby Lobby. It was in a box of a lot of washi tape. It's a whole one of those big bundles. And I am going to tear this. I love a torn washi look. And I'm going to just put this back on my roll because I can use that later. Go. And let's see. I just want this kind of edge, and then this kind of like that, let's make these edges up just a little bit to get rid of that white. As Tammy at Paperness says, life's better when you ink the edges. But if you don't like inking edges or you don't like inking at all, it's not a necessity. There we go. I really like that. Alright, I am going to ink up the edge of this. Oop, got glue on my fingers. This little statue to make it look a little more vintage. I'm going to add this. Just a little bit of Fabri-Tac. And let's go ahead and kind of see where I want to put that. Right about there. A little more glue on her. And I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now I've got glue fibers all over my glue bottle. Alright. I think there's only one more thing I want to do. I want to put my tab on here. So let me grab those. Ooh, I just found that. In my tab box. And it is a key, and I love it. Alright, happy little accidents. So let's grab that one. Like that. And I'm gonna add the key. But where am I gonna add the key? Am I gonna add the key there? I think I am. Alright. At some point in time, I evidently had planned on using this as a charm because I have double backed that key. But it's okay. It now is not a charm. It is now decor for this card. How many people are trying to use up their stash? I have pleasantly been. Oh, I'm going to need to add some Fabri-Tac here. Using up lots of die cuts and things that I have in my little ephemera binder for this journal. That is making me happy. Alright. Let's see. That'll stay there. Now I want to cut this tab, get it all inked up, and get it put on. Because I've been putting tabs on all my cards for the main card, so it won't go on this one, it will actually go on this one. So let's double check to see we've got all our things. We did our journal card. We can write right here if we wanted to write and make it a true journal card for journaling. We added our scrapbook or wallpaper, and I did the scrapbook paper, and something with texture or embossing. I used my lace and my little scrap of fabric there, and some texture from the coffee filter there, and added a key, and I added my key right there. May have to come back and work on that, but that's okay. Alright, so let's see where this tab is going to go. I think it's going to go right there. And I have one more thing I want to do. And we will be finished for today. Got my tab. And we're going to punch our holes. And that'll go just like that. But before I do that, I have something I found in my stash. This little heart and key that I want to put on a jump ring and make a little charm dangle. So let's do that really quick. And we will call it a day. Very successful day, I might say. All right. Jump ring opened up, and now I'm gonna need to get my eyelets out. I didn't do that. Nope. Let's see. Eyelets, eyelets, eyelets. Let's see what we've got. I think I want to use the small one that looks like antique brass. Grab a crocodile and make sure I'm using the small hole punch there. Here we go. I'm gonna need to turn this. Nope, that's right. Okay. Where did I just put that eyelet? Alright, I know it's there. There it is. Can't see it on this dark mat. Set. Of course, I've got that on the wrong one again. I always do that. You would think I would remember to check that. I can never remember which ones they are. There we go. Alright. That up. Those are great little tools. Because when I first started scrapbooking years and years and years ago, I had eyelet setters that were a hammer and a little thing you would hammer in to cut the hole, and then you would hammer in the eyelet, and it made lots of noise and it shook your table, and it definitely wasn't something you wanted to use when people were asleep, if you were crafting after everybody went to bed. So I am telling my age that that is something I used long ago. I actually still have something that I thought was the greatest invention, though it was kind of hard to use. It was called a silent setter, to where you would, instead of the hammer, you had a tool that looked kind of like a T screwdriver kind of thing, and you would twist it and it would cut and set the eyelet. But that's okay. That crocodile, whoever thought of that, I hope they are sitting happy now, because that was a great invention. All right, let's get our... Did I just put that on the wrong side? I did, but you know what? This is volume 2, so I don't have to do it just like I did volume 1. So for volume 2, all the prompts are going to be on the front. That's the decision I just made because I did that wrong. Ta-da! We fixed it. Volume 2 is slightly different. Where did I put the hole punch? There it is. We will get our holes punched and we will be all done. And that one is crooked, but it's okay because I will do what I should have done, which is line this up and trace it. Getting ahead of myself, and so I'm making mistakes. So let's trace that. Now, let's see if we can trace this one. That's not what I want. This one. And get the hole punched. I'm going to trace there at the bottom. And I don't know if I can use this hole punch. Actually, probably what I should have been doing is using my Crop-A-Dile so I could see the holes, because it has a little window kind of where you see your marks. That would have been easier. There we go. We'll make this work. There we go. We did it. We did it. And I'm going to trim this lace up right here. Still haven't gone back and added my hole reinforcers to my other cards yet. Or, as I think it was Nate and Carrie at So Much Glitter were calling them paper donuts, which I thought was hilarious. But I am going to go ahead and do it to this one because that's making me a little crazy. So, let's grab this and get these on and cover that up. There we go. That's better. Better. And I just inked these with some ink to make them look more vintage. Used the blender brush for that. And that is it. Grab our rings, and I haven't made the cover for this one to say volume 2 yet, and I'm probably going to go back and change and make a new cover for this one and just cover this front up. I'm not going to cover the back up to where it says volume 2, or maybe even just stamp. Ooh, that's a good idea. I could use this exact same cover, just print it again and use a stamp, letter stamp that just says volume 1 and volume 2. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make that cover. But for now, we've got our day 11 all done, and put in our rings. There we go. Our old attic. So there we have it, our day 11 mix, layer, and make recipe card. I hope today's prompts gave y'all a little bit of inspiration to pull out some of that paper, scraps, and add some layers and your favorite details to create something of your own. Remember, your cards don't have to look like mine. You can use whatever you have. Follow the prompts in whatever way feels fun to you. If you don't have scrapbook paper or wallpaper, leave it out. It's okay. There's no paper police. Don't forget to follow along with Tammy at Paper Nest Crafts and Christina at ScrapcraftnStitchery so that you don't miss any of the mix, layer, and make videos. The full information video will be linked down in the description box about how this event is working and where you can find all the freebies on all 3 of our Ko-fi shops, and the giveaway information, and where to post your completed cards. Remember, those are due midnight Eastern Standard Time, August 31st. And thank y'all so much for spending a little bit of crafty time with me today, and I hope you'll join us for the next Mix, Layer, and Make video. So until next time, y'all take care.